at least in our view of sort of having worked with several companies across Southeast Asia, we see that most of the tasks being done by finance teams can be broadly categorized in four buckets, right? So it starts with as Anirudh mentioned, getting paid, which is collecting on your invoices, or as Esti mentioned, the AP process of paying your bills. And bulk of the time that finance teams end up spending is probably the first two buckets of managing their AR and AP and also in recon, which unfortunately leaves them little to no time to actually focus on planning, insights, forecasting, sort of reorganizing or tweaking their quarterly goals or their biannual goals. And then obviously strategic finance ops is mostly an afterthought, meaning teams looking at, hey, what is my collection efficiency? What has been my day sales outstanding trend? What are the things that I'm putting in place to actually optimize for that? So it seems like because there is just so much day-to-day operational work that finance teams are mostly stuck in, they have very little to almost no time for some of the tasks on strategic finance. I would love to sort of pull you and ST on this because again, you've been in the thick of things, been part of a industry, F&B company, seafood company for multiple years. Just want to understand to what extent would you say your time spent as the CFO was split between, let's say, more strategic work versus overseeing reconciliation exercise, month-end closing, or just ARAP work?
I think this chart very aptly summarizes how traditional businesses deal with their finance teams. It's usually heavily focused on firefighting, on paying bills on time, on that the customer has defaulted on us, on chasing monies back, on informing everyone after payments has been made manually, and informing all different stakeholders manually across the entire value chain. So these various tasks are so manual and so time consuming that it really encompasses most of the time of the team, such that there's really no other bandwidth for them to think about anything else at all. And really, like what Saurabh has mentioned, strategic finance ops, looking at metrics such as the cash conversion cycle, the DPO, the DSO, and all that, is really afterthought. So when the base finance ops is still in a mess, there's really no room for anyone else to focus on value-adding things that the finance team can really value-adding to an organization. So approaching such a situation, the best way is definitely to clean up the mess first, and that's how and that was really what we did when we were working together back then.
Thank you for sharing that. Any events you'd like to bring to this?
Yeah, I think on my side, I think what SC says is quite true. There's a lot of manual processes, and most of the time companies are firefighting. On my side, I think a simple analogy is looking at the pyramid. So at the top you have the CEO and the CFO, and then followed by the operational staff, and then after at the base level of the pyramid, you have the the administration and as well as the accounting team, the ARAP and things like that. So you can imagine where are all the top decisions being made is always at the top, and then it trickles down to the rest of the organization. So I think what we are trying to what this slide is trying to show is that if we were to invert it the other way, to give everyone the responsibility to in their own way to contribute in a strategic sense to the company, I think this would really spearhead the company to a different level.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think this probably is a good time to sort of ask which section of the process is probably the most tedious in your relevant experiences. Is it Just to sort of pyramidize what we just saw, right? Like we had paying bills, collecting invoices, we had recon, we had insights forecasting, and like you said, from a more strategic value add, the CEO or the CFO, is where strategic finance ops, I believe, would sit. In terms of the most tedious, is it, in your experience, again back to USD, has it been more around, let's say, three-way matching or month-end closing or payment application, or just keeping an audit trail, or has it been more about sort of processing your payrolls, your collections, your payables? Like, is there a specific aspect of the entire process?
For me, my experience was really focused on trying to clean up the whole process. So the most challenging part was the sheer volume of all the pieces of papers flying around. So from staff claims, when staff comes to the office, just hands to the team one huge stack of papers without telling us what they are for, expects us to pay them back. That was at the start of my journey with the company, and that was really a very appalling experience that I had, because how do you know which receipt is for which expense and whether they are legit or not, right? So it's getting the approvals for them, getting to ensure that those payments are legit before our AP team processes those payments, and then thereafter digitizing them, putting it into a PDF format at least, and then at least having keeping track of all these transactions in Google Sheets. Not the ideal, but at least there is a list of all these transactions in place. So before that, there was no list at all, and we're just trying to gather and find out what all these different transactions are. Right. So that was the toughest and most challenging part that I had. I'm pretty glad we managed to clean that up eventually.
I just want to pass it to you, right? Xero has a massive ecosystem of an app marketplace, and a lot of the value that Xero creates is not just through its core accounting software, absolutely one aspect of it, but also the ability to seamlessly plug into these plethora of applications that exist in your marketplace. Can you talk a little bit about for a SMB looking at sort of streamlining and moving time away from, let's say, your bottom two stages of the pyramid and spend more time towards, let's say, strategic finance? Or what would be some of the most useful automations that already exist?
Sure, thanks, Saurabh. Yeah, as you said, obviously now Xero is not just a cloud-based accounting software, but also we're actually a platform business now where we have our own ecosystem of about 1,300 apps out there globally across different verticals and functions that are integrated to Xero. So there's a seamless data flow between applications and Xero and the application. So in fact, just like we do have the team code. Because sort of accounting touches pretty much every single industry vertical, there is an operational application out there for pretty much every function and for every specific vertical. So, based on a certain businesses' requirements and kind of industry they're in, there's an app out there. So you just have to use the right softwares, connect them with the accounting software so that there's a direct flow of data. Because I think far too much time is being spent on manual data